This is Real Talk Radio. This is Real Talk. High Praise Ministries presents Real Talk. This is Real Talk Radio. This is Real Talk. High Praise Ministries presents Real Talk.
All right. Welcome to another edition of the Real Talk Interview Podcast. For y'all who are joining me, this is only, I think, my third or fourth episode. I lost track now. Ain't been that many. I'm already losing track because y'all know the Real Talk Podcast and the Real Talk Interview, for me, they kind of blend together. But for those of y'all who are not familiar with the Real Talk Interview, the Real Talk Interview is where I sit down with people I find interesting. So I don't care if you find them interesting or not. I find them interesting, and I want to sit down and talk with them. This is really basically for me, and you get to have a sneak peek into conversations that I get to have with people who I find interesting, and some of these people are people that I know. And some of these people just happen to have some stuff that I'm interested in talking to them about. So, hey, join in, sit back, relax. It's going to be a great time, especially today. Today, I have the pleasure of interviewing one of my good friends, my big little sis for real. I have known her, God, it feels like forever. We go all the way back to college when I was toothpick thin, hair down to the shoulders, with the ponytail and everything. They used to call me Reverend Headbanger. She is awesome. She is dynamite. She is overly humble, in my opinion, but she is, just outstanding. She is my sister for life. There's nothing she can do to get rid of me. I'm like cockroaches in her life. I will always keep coming up. She is dynamic. She's anointed. She has a smart mouth. Trust me, you're going to hear it. I'm going to get on nerves at some point in time. You're going to say something smart. It's going to come out. We are family for real. Please, Real Talk Interview people, help me welcome my good friend, my sister, my family, Miss Kimberly Rogers. How you doing, ma'am?
You really were extra with that, weren't you?
Nah, I told you when I intro them. And ain't nothing I said not true, and you know it. You know ain't nothing I said not true.
Like cockroaches?
Like cockroaches.
There's
cockroaches
rape for
is
that.
forever.
There's rape for that.
Cockroaches is forever. Once you got them, you may not always see them, but they's around. You got to move, and sometimes they move with you.
No, they are not moving with me. If I'm moving, they not coming.
It is said that cockroaches are, when the end of the world comes, cockroaches will still be there.
Yeah, I don't know if I
cockroaches and Twinkies.
Twinkies.
Oh yeah, you know Twinkies is like they that snack that just don't what's it called? Don't expire, doesn't ever get old. You can have a Twinkie 30 years from now and it still be, as long as it's in the wrapper, still a Twinkie. You're still good.
Is that factual?
I don't know who's eating. I don't know. I said that's what they say. I have never taken the time to look this up and find out. Nor have I had first of all, I don't even like Twinkies.
What is it made of?
I'm not gonna have a Twinkie. That's a great question. It is made of disgusting cream and somebody's nightmares who are high.
And yet the FDA allows it as a food product, right?
Like you know good and well, FDA don't care about what we eat. We was out here almost dying of mercury poison before they was like, oh yeah, you know what? Maybe we should drop the mercury level in food 0.2%.
Yeah,
not get rid of it altogether, but 0.2%. You know.
Yeah, but I think that also like science changes over time, right? Like in our interpretation of what's acceptable and what's not acceptable, and our understandings about things change. So I would argue that maybe the FDA was just like, after seeing more research, maybe this isn't the right levels. But I'm sure somebody done studied them Twinkies.
I think you were just being nice and being understanding. But that I don't think that's factual. I think they just don't care. It only became a problem when it became more light melanin based that was also being affected. So yeah, but ain't nobody died that we know of from a Twinkie. So they're like, you know, whatever, just keep making them. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think they discontinued Twinkies, and there was a white outrage about Twinkies being gone. They came back. I remember a good 5-6 years, you couldn't find a Twinkie nowhere. Not that I was looking, but I know people who liked Twinkies at the time. You couldn't find a Twinkie nowhere. Now all of a sudden they back.
It's like, why? I don't know. Definitely not one of my favorite snack foods. So
Never been one of my. If I had a Twinkie, I used it to throw it at somebody else. I was never trying
what's
to eat
the point of that? Twinkies are soft.
It's disrespectful. It's not the point to hurt them. Sometimes things aren't about pain. Some things are about disrespect, and then you know how I actually feel about you. And I took the time to buy this horrible snack with my own money, take it, and sometimes wouldn't even open the wrapper and just throw it at you.
So you've done this more than once?
Yes. Yes. Sometimes more than once to the same person, but that's a whole nother, it happens.
We need to change his intro because I don't need people to know that we are associated. I don't know this man.
Oh no, you know me. You know me.
You buying Twinkies and throwing them at people?
Yes.
No, I don't know that Jesse. That's not the Jesse I know.
Oh, that's not the Jesse you know. So I'm not the same Jesse that was trying that bullied y'all my freshman year into making sure y'all would all walk together, so all y'all got home safe. So I'd be the last one to get home because I was not about to let y'all walk home. And you was only a block and a half away from the church, and I still was like, nope. It is 8:30 at night, and these white folks is crazy.
Even a block and a half. That was like a half of a block. I literally like right around the corner from the church.
And I would make the whole crew, our whole crew. Nope, we walking Kim home first. Then we walking in. Yep.
Yeah, that same stubborn, bullheaded. Like I'm gonna do what I say I'm gonna do. I don't care what anybody else say.
But did you get home safe though? Oh, okay. I didn't even get to hear it live. Thank God. And I didn't hear it in real time. And so because I'm like get off my lawn old at this point, and I don't mean by age, by my mentality. All I have is Facebook. I don't have Twitter, Instagram, none of them, right? So a lot of trends take a long time, and most of the people I am friends with do not. This stuff doesn't hit my timeline because if they post about it, it's not as everybody else's. So I don't get a whole lot of crazy stuff on my timeline. So my wife always is sending me reels. We'll send reels back and forth. She sent me this reel. It wasn't even the chick who did it. It was something else that somebody was saying using it. And I was like, what the heck is this? And she said, you don't know what it is? I said, no. And then she showed me the video. And I'm like, okay. And since that day, this freaking statement has infiltrated my life, and I want to jump out of a window. I have more context to it now because different comedians I follow and whatnot have talked about it, where I didn't know that the person, because I don't know if they're trans or not. There's debate as to whether or not they are or not. I don't know. Yeah, so I don't know what they want to call themselves or whatever. So this person is actually a comedian and was doing it for comedic effect. And I was like, okay, that's cool. Apparently out of all this person has gotten brand deals and all kinds of stuff. However, somebody decided, because I guess the cliche is kind of true. It's cliche in my world anyway. Meaning the people around me have said it multiple occasions, and I picked it up. We tend to not value our own stuff or value what comes from us. She never trademarked it. So because the person,
why would you trademark? No, let me leave that alone.
Why would you trademark that statement? Because here's why: all the brand deals.
It's not a statement; it's a word.
No, the full statement, not just.
Oh, maybe I don't know the full statement. Then okay.
The full statement is what is it? It's very. God, dog, I gotta look it up now. It's very something very demure. Very mindful, very demure. And so that has now become a thing. And because the person didn't trademark it, somebody else did. And now they're going to get paid off of that person's.
Until the next trend comes, and that's no longer like a thing, right?
But you
like
never
to
know
me,
how
I don't
long
know.
it's
It
going to
just
take for that.
it
And
just
the
feels
money
really.
that comes in,
Go ahead.
and the money that comes in from that is what money that has come in so far from it is crazy. It will be crazy until the next trend comes up.
Which is gonna be like in 15 minutes.
There hasn't been a trend like very very mindful, very demure in a while. I forget who the rapper was who had one that was it was one of the City Girls stupid thing that they did. I cannot remember the statement because I'm old. I don't follow a lot of crap, but they had one that was popping for grip. And yeah, Hot Girl Summer. That's what it was. That was the last thing that trended like this in terms of mainstream popularity and mainstream branding, and that has been 2 years or so. And the money that could be made in that 2 years, man, if you do it right, it's crazy because that is everywhere right now.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. Like I can't wrap my brain around it. Like it feels very much like Christopher Columbus. Like it is a word, right? Like you did not discover it. It's not something that you created. It is not something that is brand new and has been added to the dictionary as a byproduct of your research, intellect, or work. But you put some words together.
But that's how a lot of them have trended. Like when I found out that Pat Riley trademarked the term three-peat.
What term?
Three-peat. Three-peat.
I don't know
It's
what that
when
is.
you win a championship 3 consecutive years in a row. They call it a three-peat.
Okay.
He trademarked it. It had been around forever. Somebody trademarked Taco Tuesday and stopped everybody from using it unless they were going to pay him. So, like, I get what you're saying. It's very
I guess
Christopher
that's
Columbus.
who's the guy that did Let's Get Ready to Rumble?
Michael Buffer.
Yeah,
He
like
trademarked
that.
it.
Yeah,
And
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
but so I get your point. It is very Christopher Columbus-y, but at the same time, if you see the trend going that way, if you're the one or the reason that this has become popularized, you got to jump on it. And the very first time that a brand deal came, or that somebody was coming to me from a company and saying, "Hey, we want to get you saying this," my next phone call, how do I trademark this? How do I get this trademark? Like, I got some phrases that I say very often.
What
Ever.
phrases? Let me know so I can go ahead and get them trademark now. Let me start paying attention to the podcast.
They're not all on the podcast. Like, I got one that's biblical. I took it straight from the
Wait,
text of
what's
the
your
Bible.
biblical? Wait, what's your?
I ain't
Oh
gonna
no,
say it.
I don't even want to know.
You
Never
got
mind, because it's gonna
tune
be
in
some
next
off
service.
interpretation.
No, it's not even off interpretation. It is literally exactly what the text says.
It's probably something
It's
like.
not something I'm preaching. It's not a phrase. It's not a phrase I'm preaching or expounding upon.
Is
I'm
it
just
Jesus
making the
going into
statement.
Jerusalem?
Nope.
Okay.
None of that. None of that. It is a phrase that if you have been in church for at least a year, you have heard at least 30 times. Minimum. All preachers say it
Now I'm
at some point.
curious.
At a point in time. It's
Like
right.
what? The doors of the
It's
church
right
are open, but
up
that's
there
not in
with.
the
It's right up there with eyes have not seen,
40,
ears have not
40,
heard. It's right up there
40
with
and
that.
2 generations.
No, but if I said that a lot, I would do that one too. But I'm waiting on them. Like, I'm finding that if the moment somebody be like, "Hey, we want to have you say, cool, let me go trademark this," and that's in the Bible, I'm still gonna fight for that trademark just because
I'm gonna pay you
that's
$5 for you to say that statement. Come on, what's that
that ain't
statement?
enough. That ain't enough. You will not treat me like I'm like this is the 1970s and I'm a black Motown singer, and you want my song to give to Elvis. Nope.
You just said that the moment that somebody comes to you,
Yep. But I need some real money. I can get $5 on my own. I put my
okay.
feet on OnlyFans.
You
And I get $5.
you alrighty. was gonna offer you $6, but I'm gonna leave that low because I don't want to know what $6 would get.
The full foot.
Nope. Mm-mm.
You get half the foot for $5, the full foot
Nope.
for $6.
Keep the foot. Nope.
For $15, you get both.
We good.
And I wiggle my toes, like the movie Kill Bill. Wiggle your big toe.
Alrighty. Yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But a lot of things don't. So I'm fine with that. Like
Kim,
things trend
old.
because they trend. Like, yeah. What was the phrase you
old.
used? You are lawn chair old. What did you say earlier?
Get off my lawn, old.
Get off my.
You kids, get off my lawn.
Yeah, get off my lawn. Yeah. I might be in that category then.
Oh, you're absolutely in that category. Absolutely. That's not even.
I need you not to say it with that certainty. At least I wasn't in that category when I was like 19 years old, like some people.
Hey, doesn't matter when you got there. You got there. The race is not given to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, but he that endured to the end. Which is not what the Bible says, just for the record. We're going to leave that alone.
Okay.
You ought to say how many years I grew up thinking that was the full phrase biblically. We ain't going to talk about that. I'm going to leave that alone.
Oh, it's so many of those. Like, people are just like, oh, yeah, that's in the Bible. No, it's not.
Oh, back in the day.
You take one step. You take one step, and God will take two. What is that? Yeah.
You take one step,
Yeah.
God will take two. God only helps those who help themselves. Like, me and my wife, but I did a radio show back in Columbus, Ohio, called Catch the Fire. I spent 2 episodes just destroying Christian cliches. Because I had gotten it, again, I'm get off my lawn old. You kids get off my lawn old. I really am. I just got sick of hearing preachers say the stuff and people coming back and saying, and the Bible says, nigga, no, it don't. And if you read, forget read, nigga, we in the age of Google. How about Google the verse? Google it and tell me where it's at so that I can see it myself. How about that? Well, the Bible. No, it don't. And the day that I got sick of it was I was invited to somebody's church to be a secondary speaker or third speaker. Like, it's one of the programs where you have like 4 or 5 speakers on the program. And I was one of them. And this preacher rattled off 4 of them almost in a row. And the church, yeah, hallelujah. I looked over my wife. I said, ain't none of that in the Bible. And it took me a second to get my mind together so I could get the word I was going to give. Because they had ticked me off so much by using that crap. And so I did 2 straight episodes on just destroying Christian cliches. Hallelujah is not the highest praise. Stop saying that crap. The Bible does not say, when the praises go up, blessings come down. Stop saying that crap. I hate it. Cleanliness is next to godliness. No, cleanliness is just next to being clean. Stop it.
Never say it's just next to being clean. I am like fiddling because I think that my laptop isn't charging.
That means get ready to go out.
No. Like, I literally have it plugged in. That's the top of my head.
Actually, we don't see the top of your head. We see the books in the background. Still didn't ever read, or those videos. No, those aren't VHS. You're not that old anymore. So yeah, those are those are books. Your books in the background. Still an avid reader, which I appreciate because I'm not.
I don't understand why it's not charging.
Why it's not charging? That I couldn't answer for you, ma'am. I really wish I could, but I is your outlet working?
Is my what?
Is your outlet working?
Yeah.
You gonna actually make me do some real edits on this thing this time around.
My bad. Technical difficulties, people. Technical difficulties. Because that shouldn't be it. Unless I have the wrong charger. Okay. Yeah, I'll be right back.
I'm gonna hit pause on this. This is what I'm gonna do. I have the ability to pause. I'm pausing. Come on. All right, y'all. So that jump cut that y'all just saw is because we had to pause it because we had some technical issues. So we back. I don't even know where we were at last, but we back.
You were
So-
talking about the church cliches that aren't really
Oh,
scriptural.
I just hate them. I hate them. Oh yeah, and I was talking about the idiot who's preached about 4 of them in a row and ticked me off. And I had to get my mind together trying so I could bring the word after him because I was so angry that this is what you did, and this dude was supposed to be seasoned. You know, he's been doing it 30 something years, and all you got was these cliches, and then I got mad at the people. Like, so y'all don't read the word of God yourselves at all, huh? Y'all are as lazy as I like to think that y'all are, and I really hope every time I say that the body of Christ is lazy, I always be hoping I'm wrong, but every time they be proving me right, and I'd be like, I hate that. I really despise that. Just this is one of the reasons why we perish for lack of knowledge. Y'all just don't want to read. And I know, because I know you hate paintbrushing. I know we've had that conversation many a game. But I will preface it just for you. In my experience, it ain't been wrong. They're just lazy. It's not very often that I every so often I will do this to my church just to make sure they're paying attention. I will do what some pastors do in slip up. I'll do it on purpose. I'll be like, so go to John the fourth chapter and the 16th verse, and I'll start reading John chapter 3 verse 16. And I'll see them looking, and I'm waiting to see if somebody's gonna go, that's not what that says. I love that. Because it shows me that you're paying attention and you're reading along and you're not being lazy. I love that. When I see that at other churches, I love that. This ain't about me. Let's move on.
Woosah. You know, that's one of the things that gets to me, like, especially like when I hear like people who, you know, give these very generic messages and very like generic like sayings that aren't even like they're talking more motivational, right? Like than biblical. And the folks are flipping out like, yes, right? Like, and you just feel like, wait a minute, hold up. That's not the word. You do know that that's not the word, right?
9 times out of 10, they don't. It kills me. Like, I've been, and I hold myself accountable first, because there are some things that in the last few years or so, 5 or 10 years or so, that I've had to study for messages because God has taken me different places. And I was like, wait a second, I never knew that scripture was all the time I've been reading my Bible, and I never knew that one. But I'm also transparent with it. My people will hear me say it on a regular basis. Hey, yo, look, I didn't see this until I had to study for this message. So make sure you know this. Or this revelation that God just hit me with all the time I've been reading and hearing this scripture. Like I had one that was super simple. Let me see if I find my notes. Super simple from Saturday.
I was gonna say, like, that is every passage of the Bible. Like, I think that you have those experiences with, like, the more that you study it, the deeper you go in it, the more you start seeing, right? Like, and God really starts to reveal new things that is like, wait a minute. It could be something as simple as, right, like those Sunday school messages, Daniel in the lion's den, or David and Goliath, right? Like, but when you really like read it, you're just like, hold up, I didn't even know this was in here.
I love those moments and hate them at the same time. I hate them only because it makes me feel stupid, but I love them because it means, God, you're still showing me stuff. And so it is proof positive that I can never get comfortable on my high horse of where I'm at, because you're always going to show me something different, even simple, from something that I thought I knew. I love that kind of stuff. I can't find the words, that's why I can't even talk about it now. But there was I'll give you one even more simple than Saturday. Like, a couple of years ago, I just realized that, well, I shouldn't say a couple of years ago, probably about 13 now. I realized that the fruit of the Spirit is a fruit. You have no idea how many years I've called it the fruits of the Spirit. and I had to do a series on it, breaking down each one. And I thought my Bible was broke. 'Cause I was using my Bible app, but the Bible apps, some of these ones, they take scriptures out all the time or whatnot. If you're not really paying attention, it's like, wait, hold on, this can't be right. So I went to my paper Bible. Like, this ain't changing that forever. I went in the vault to him, grabbed this up. Holy crap! This nigga has said fruit. Why have I thought this is fruits? Like,
because you thought it was fruits, because the way that it's often depicted, it's like, right, like love is the apple, and patience is this banana over here, and this, right, like, and it's shoddy, right? Like, it's shoddy in terms of the way that folks interpret it and then regurgitate that for other folks.
This is factual. But I love the moments. I do, but I hate them because I feel stupid. But I love them, and I wish more people had them more often.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm really in a mindset of, I've been this way, but I'm really hardcore into it, even more now than ever. In a mindset of, yo, nigga, grow.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't make any sense. I am trying to work myself out of a job.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be your pastor forever. I don't want to be your go-to. I am not God. That's why I coined the cliche for myself that I know that Jesus and Jesse are similar in spelling, but that US and that SE makes all the difference in the world.
So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I trademark that so that I can get paid off of that once it goes viral.
Go ahead. I've already trademarked my name, so go on.
But let me ask this then. Then how do you, right, like, foster that growth in your folks?
So I do it a couple of ways. One of the fun things for me that High Praise Ministry does, that to date I'm not saying nobody else does it, I have yet to hear of anyone else doing it. My main service is like a Bible study, in that in the middle of my message, if you have a question, ask. I stop and I answer questions. And so that helps me to see how much you're listening, how much you're paying attention, what you're not getting, and I can hopefully help that along right there on the spot. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to have this question after service and then 2 weeks from now be able to get to me, which also has never been the case for my folks. They can get to me right away anyway. But, and by that time, you have the question, but you don't even remember why you asked that question. And now you don't remember what part of the message that question came from. And so now we both trying to figure out what the heck did I say that would spark that question. No, right there in the moment. Let's get it out right now. Mm-hmm. One of the things I used to do, I don't do as much anymore for a variety of reasons, is I used to have every member do what I call a reflection. Mm-hmm. So not only did you get to ask questions in the middle of the message, at the end of service, you had homework. You had to go back and restudy the message, and you had to email me. And the email had to consist of what you got from the message, how you're going to apply it to your daily life.
You shouted.
And any other questions.
It was good.
That you, if you sent that to me, I'd send it back and say, do it again. And I've had people give me 2-sentence reflections. I'm like, that's not a reflection. You ain't did nothing. Go back and study it again. And I kept track. Mm-hmm. And I would tell people, you are 3 reflections behind. I need that. I need that reflections.
So what if they never turn the reflections in? Are you going to excommunicate them from the church? Like, you can no longer be a part of the church because you haven't done the homework.
No, but I'm the type that you don't want to keep hearing me say stuff to you. Like, when I'm in that role, you don't. There's and it's not that I'm like take my belt off and beat you kind of. It's just and I can't describe it because I'm the one doing it. It's not happening to me. But I've been told there's just something about my demeanor and presence and presentation when I am in the mode of, hey, this needs to be done, that compels people in a loving way to go get it done. They don't want to not do the thing. They don't want to disappoint me in that way. And it's not that they could disappoint me. Like, this is between you and God. This is to help your growth. Mm-hmm. But that has been a thing. And so once it began to get to a place where the 2 things happened. Some of my more seasoned members, for lack of a better way to put it, got a little slack in doing their reflection, so they would pile up 3 or 4 behind and then just turn them all in. And I read them right away. So now you're making more work for me because I have to read 35 as opposed to 12. So that was one of the reasons that I stopped. And the other reason that I stopped was like, okay, now you all are at a point where this should be a part of your daily habit now, where it shouldn't be you're doing this, turn it into me. This should be a consideration that you're doing after every message. What am I getting from this message? How am I applying it to my daily life? Did I ask all the questions I need to in the midst of service? And if I didn't, let me reach out and ask a question now. Like, I wanted that to be a practice, and I fit in. So in watching and reading those reflections, I can get a gauge for people's growth. And I knew how to start dealing with them one-on-one. Say, okay, look, these are some areas that there's some disconnect in. So how can I help? What are you not understanding? Here's some word to study. Here's a previous message I did on this thing that may give you some more clarity about this thing I referenced in this message over here. Like, I would do those things. And from that, the vast majority of them I can say I've seen grow. Not everybody, but the vast majority.
Mm-hmm. So would you say that, right, like that if someone were to turn in something and said like, oh, well, I learned from this message that God is petty, right? Like that reaches the standard of like what they should have gleaned from this message? Like, how do you identify what someone should have gleaned from that message?
For me, it's not what you should have, because when I first started, I had a standard of what a person should glean from a message. And then I stopped that because I began to realize when the word is done well, and I'm not patting myself on the back or being arrogant, but it's just what it is in terms of when the word is done well, whether you're talking about myself or Bishop Jakes or Bishop Clark, who's passed on, or Dr. Childs, when the word is done well, different people should get different things from it because they're at different stages in their life. So where one person gleans this thing from the message because their perspective and where they're at in their life deems it, someone else who's down here ain't gonna get that, but they'll get this. So I've removed all of my expectations of what you should glean from it, and I just hear what you glean from it, and then I'll say, okay, so why? What was the thing that made this be the thing? So if you said to me, one of the things I got from this message is God is petty, I would say, okay, so why? What's the context? What makes it that you got God being petty, and how do you apply God being petty to your daily life?
Well, you said that God would throw Twinkies and tables, and so
What was my context?
The context was that God was petty.
No.
You were talking about how God was being petty.
That's a summary statement of what I said. That's the summary context, but that's not the context. So what you have done is give the Reader's Digest headline clickbait title. Because anytime I'm saying God is petty, especially across the pulpit, it is more for effect. However, what is the context? What did I use to show you that God is petty? And why was I showing you God was petty in that moment?
Twinkies.
I would never talk about Twinkies in my pulpit. Now watch, it's gonna mess around.
No, you just gonna throw them. You just gonna throw them at folk.
You can throw them. Ain't nothing wrong with throwing them.
It's all good. So do you practice also too, really kind of like that Socratic method of like questioning folks about
That's
like
been my entire life.
Yeah.
My mom used to always say, and how did this turn to me being interviewed? My mom used to always say that why was my favorite word. She would say that why was my first word, even though that's not what she wrote in my baby book. I
can see that.
But from why and my purpose, my reasoning for why has been because I've always been a person of purpose. And so I seek out to understand the purpose in anything that I am told to do or anything I do. I was never the child that you could just say, go clean your room.
You're like, why? Because it's dirty.
And so that would allow me to trail the questions. Why? Because it's dirty. Okay, so why does it being dirty mean anything? Because when your room is dirty, we get bugs, and I'm not trying to have bugs in my house. Okay, that could work for me. Now, did I always get that? Heck no. I had 2 black parents. They were not. They would
get in there and go clean that room.
Because I said so had to be sufficient at a lot of times. But there were times that my mom understood that my why was not me being smart or me trying to be sarcastic. It was literally, I want to know to understand. And she began to catch it. My dad began to catch it when my teacher started telling my parents, he's always asking why. Well, he does that at home. Boy, just do. But I can't process this correctly without understanding the why. The answer has never been overly important to me. It's the process getting to the answer. Because if I understand the process, my answer will always be correct. You give me the answer, I'll get the answer right as long as you have the question the exact same way. Which I understood at a very young age. That was never a thing. So it's always been my thought process of why, which is also how I teach. When I'm teaching and I'm writing out my notes and stuff, I'm literally asking myself questions while I'm writing my notes. Okay, so if this is something that I can see that may be a question, let me answer this now in the message. And I try to answer as many questions in the actual context of the message as possible so that the people have less questions.
That makes sense. Like that is like a strategy within rhetoric in and of itself, right? Like to always be aware of what the rebuttal is, like, or always be aware of what those questions are and those places of ambiguity within your message where people have like that. This doesn't make sense. Like they can't make that connection. They can't make that bridge. They can't make that jump. And so it makes sense to structure, right? Like your communication in a way that provides that for folks. So yeah, it makes sense.
So now I'm gonna turn it back on you because you tried to turn this interview on me. This is an interview about you, not about me. So,
we can turn it back.
I'm gonna toss out my surprise now because because this actually kind of fits towards the surprise I was trying to have that I couldn't get, but I'm gonna give a nostalgic surprise anyway. Let's see if you remember this. And I made sure that that if you don't remember it, that I'm accurate that your presence was there. First of all, do you recognize that voice?
Oh, yeah. Sweet tea.
I can't tell you how much I miss this. I just.
Let us magnify the Lord through music. Come with me.
So I'm guessing you don't remember where this was or what this was.
I'm actually, yeah, that's what I was trying to think of. I was like, I don't think we ever done this.
We did, but it wasn't. It was special. We did this for.
Why does it look like right now you playing the piano? You
because I'm really good. I play really good table piano. This was done at the GVF reunion that we did. It was your last year. I had to come back from Al Equipment because I had gotten kicked out my first year. After my first year, I came out for the other Kim was the host. We did it at that one church. It's the same concert that Ramona and I first did. The Battle Is Not Yours. I had this whole thing on tape.
Oh, really? The whole concert?
I had somewhere in my archives. I have the VHS of this. I had all of this on a CD as well. So my CD case got stolen. But before it was sold, a couple of these I transferred over to MP3.
like those great like flow sessions after like that, because that's where this was going. Like, that's where she started like hold it on the spot, and then Lee just started like arranging it. It was
I wish I had been there for the arrangement. So I came in. It was the week of the concert when they had gotten all the people coming in from out of town to come rehearse, and that's when I first heard it. I was like, I miss this. Here's what's really weird. Well, might not be weird to you because you understand. I hear this song, and even though I only rehearsed it in Mount Zion, but we did it at the forget what the church was on campus.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I still smell Mount Zion hearing the song. The wood from the pews. I smell it.
Like you hear it in almost like acoustics, right? Like just
Magnify the Lord.
And I see Wayne sitting on the people like,
Won't you come with me?
this was people on
and that's like that was like the after probably every choir practice Sunday morning, like it didn't even matter. It would just be like these flow sessions where music would just flow.
I don't want to praise him all by myself. Let's magnify the
I can't play it. So I want to, but I can't play it. So this whole thing's 11 minutes because we did this part over and over again. We stopped, and Wayne kept playing, and this chick comes back in and just, and she starts scatting a little bit, and I was like, and the only thing I am mad at, because I did the audio setup for this, the only thing I'm mad at is I wasn't able to do a test run beforehand because on the recording, Wayne and the solo mic, as you can hear, is real loud, but we behind on the backup mics as the choir, they're not as loud as they needed to be.
Oh yeah.
And when I went
Like,
back to
barely
edit, I
can
couldn't
hear
get
us.
them up.
It doesn't matter. I know one thing. I hope that she copyrighted this song, because I remember like just being like, that's a song like that. Ramona used to have a song that was like, what was Ramona? She had this song.
Say His Name.
Yeah, well, she had Say His Name, but there was another one. Maybe it was Say His Name that I'm thinking about.
It's all about him and the things he's done for me. All the showers of blessings. Gave me like, I think that was hers. That was hers, or at least one of the two. But y'all were some. The anointed talent we had in GVF.
That is true. That is true.
Ridiculous.
Like ridiculous. Like crazy. So you had a nostalgic moment. I want to have a nostalgic moment as well.
Go for it.
This is the one and only picture
You got to
that
put
you
that
will
up high.
ever see.
Let me see if I can get that in the solo. Hold on. Let's see here. Hold on. We go. Nope, not me.
I'm
We
like,
want that on you. Hold on. We gonna get that in there. Hold on. Here we come.
Here we go. That you will ever see of Jesse Jones in college. So this was, do you remember where this was?
Yeah, that is on the bus ride going back to PA.
Look at you.
Because I didn't want to do it. First of all, because PA going back to Aliquippa does something to me. I had the video of that concert too. I remember. Listen. There's not much about my time at GVF.
Yeah.
I don't remember with y'all.
Yeah, this was literally, like, we were on that bus to Aliquippa, and like Jesse does not take photos. Like, he used to fight to hide to take photos. And I think you were either nodding off or you were just like too tired to fight us, and we was back there like, we're gonna get this photo in this moment.
I was just too tired because I think that's on the way back. That's not on the way up. That's on the way back.
Yeah, and you acted a fool there, so I imagine that you would have been tired. That was not. Yes, you did.
That was y'all.
No, you absolutely acted a fool.
How I act a fool?
Absolutely.
How
Like
I act
that
a fool?
wasn't the headband one, but that was the one where was it Rashawn who danced?
Yeah, we all did. We
You
did the dance with
danced.
the
What am I
glitter.
talking
Yeah, we
about?
all of all
We
of
had the good with the glitter.
hop stomp dance. That was stomp at the time. Yeah, stomp dance. We did TD Jakes's was it let's just praise the Lord. What was the song called?
It's something like coming to the room, coming to.
No, that was the first. That was the first one we did. That was John P. Key's "Come in the House." But we
Okay.
also danced to the one that wore me out the most in terms of the dance was I can't remember what the song was. He starts off by saying, "I remember when we used to have testimony service. If it
Yeah.
wasn't ushers me, we still had to have testimony service." I had everybody placed in the crowd, and they would come up. And near the end of the song, I feel so bad that we didn't clean it up. We threw glitter.
I remember that. Like that, like glitter stuck in my head. Like just like whatever.
Yeah. But
I
I didn't have
remember
to
that.
fool all I listen. I
Where did that
was
come from? Who
with
had
the
that
glitter.
idea? Yes.
That was Rashawn's idea. I did
We
I
sure
did
enough
I did the
did.
choreography, and she was like, "Oh, you know what would be hot? We go like this that last time. We just have glitter come out." And I
We
was
sure
like,
enough did.
"Sure, okay, why not?"
I remember we were trying to like hold it in our hands and everything. Like,
Yup.
mm-mm. Yeah. Oh, interesting times with GBF.
I'll give you another nostalgic moment. Let's see if you remember this, and it's going to be memory as opposed to picture, video, or audio. Do you remember our first full-fledged interaction? Like where it was like, okay, this nigga's annoying.
Oh, there were so many of them. The
Of
first
course,
one,
there were
though?
many, but the first one, because there's one in particular that sticks out in my mind that I believe was the first. Because I
I
had
don't
only
remember
been
the
there
first one. I
maybe
remember,
3 weeks.
yeah, I remember I remember a couple of them, but I don't know if I remember the first one. And I know the one that I'm thinking about wasn't the first one because I feel like we had known you for a while, and we were fighting about like your classes and what classes you were going to take, and so that could not have been the first one. What was the first memory?
The first one was I was there about 3 weeks, and first of all, I blame Wayne for everything. Let me start with that.
Okay.
Because Wayne did a bunch of talking about me to y'all, and in particular to Doc, before I got there, preparing everybody for what I can do.
Nobody could
And
prepare. Prepared for you.
No, not prepared for me, but prepared for what I could do. Because I had no intentions on coming and doing stuff. Like my allegiance at the time, because I didn't know a whole lot better. My allegiance at the time was the church and around, and nobody get anything I could do but them. Y'all got watch care over me, and I'm gonna sit here so I can say I got some word. And y'all Baptists, so I don't even know if y'all are saved all the way right. Y'all lucky Wayne is here, and that's how we gonna do this. Like that was my first thought coming in.
That is actually how you rolled in. I remember that.
Because you got to understand how Kojic is. Well, I don't know if it still is, because I ain't been Kojic forever. But Kojic back then, they hated Baptists, and you know Baptists hated Kojic, and I'm in the Baptist church, I'm like, ugh. I ain't trying to go to hell. Well, maybe I bring some Jesus to them, because they don't know Jesus like I know Jesus. That was how, I promise you that was my thought. That was my upbringing. All I knew was Church of God in Christ. So I get there, and Wayne had told Doc all about me, and she told Doc that my father headed up AVC, audio video communication, so I knew all about video and audio and editing. And Doc had me go with you to the public access building to watch you edit the service the first time on that 3-thing editing bay to get it down, to get the long tape down to about an hour, so it could be put on public access. And I was asking a bunch of questions about why y'all editing it this way. Why is it? Why are you cutting here? Because it's what we do. But this is stupid. Y'all shouldn't do it this way. What do you mean stupid? You ain't been here but a minute. Like,
First of all, that was not me. I don't know what you're talking about. That was somebody else that you were talking about.
No,
Not me.
that was you, because after you, the only two people who've ever been up there with me were you and then Shahara. And it started with you because, and I don't know what the trade off was, how like why it was sometimes you, why it was sometimes Shahara. But my very first time being there, it was you who was there. And Doc was like, because Doc asked me afterwards, "What did you learn?" I said, "Well, the way y'all edit stuff is stupid." Well, Brother Jesse, we've been doing like this all the time, and it's gonna be okay. I said, "But Doc, like, first of all, some of this camera shots got too much headroom, and it's not close enough, and then the cuts aren't like where they should be because." Part of the message ain't really getting all the way on. This, that, and third. Well, this is what we got to do. You got to listen to Sister Kim. She know what she's doing. All right, whatever. I didn't say whatever to her, but that was what my mindset was.
No, your mindset was what I was doing was stupid. That's what I just got out of this whole story.
Well, I figured that you were I figured what you were doing was what Doc told you to do, and what Doc was doing was stupid. Because there's one thing I understood even then was I understood order. So I figured that you who had a kind of a communications background, and Shahara, who was all about Saudi and all of that with her communications background, yeah, ain't no way y'all are doing this on purpose. Y'all must be doing this because it's what she's telling y'all to do. And Doc is 1,000. Why are y'all listening to somebody who is only just seeing cameras for the first time? Like, this was all of my thought. You understand? I had like my first 3 months there was so much fight within me.
There was, and there was no reason for there to be that much fight.
That's because you don't know what I came from. Like, no, there was absolutely reason. So the church of God in Christ is a denomination where, especially at that time, yeah, the only way to be saved for real is to be Kojic. And then the church in the round.
Wait,
the church that I came from.
You can't join it.
You cannot join it. You got born in it. Yep. Which is saying that always used to perplex me. I'll tell you why it perplexes me. It perplexed me because I watch people join the church all the time. And I'm like, wait a second, hold on. Are they not Kojic? Are they not saved? What's going on? And someone's like, no, you have to be born again. We're talking about being saved. I said, I think y'all need to change the words so people can understand it better. Because it sounds like you got to be pushed out of your mother's uterus into this, and then that's how you get in it. Because you literally said you can't join it, and these niggas is joining the church. So what's going on? But like the church around in particular, they were one. So as a kid, watching people go away to college and come back, or go to other states and then come back, they would always make this statement. There's no sound like the sound of the church around, and the Holy Ghost really be moving here. He don't be moving like nowhere else but here. So I left with the expectation of God don't really mess with nobody else but us. So I need to help spread since part of the job is to spread the kingdom.
That was happening there?
Yes, it is factual. It's not even something that Bishop Clark would put forth. It's just the way the people felt. And they would get up and leave and come back. And then after the third month, God and I had a conversation because you don't understand how upset I was. I'm like, why am I here? I don't like my major right now.
I remember that.
The people are kind of cool, but this church is wearing me. God, what am I here for? And he was like, you're here to learn. I said, I can't learn how people going to hell. He said, what makes you think they're going to hell? I said, you ain't heard where I come from? God, you be rocking there all the time. He said, I'm everywhere. And it was like that kind of conversation with God that not only opened me up to Mount Zion, but from there, I have ministered at and helped other ministers with almost every denomination that exists. I found out about denominations I've never heard of, like the Church of God of Prophecy. I've never heard of that before in my life, and then I got in touch with. I was like, oh, okay, y'all kind of cool too. This is how y'all do God. Okay, cool. But I was fighting, and y'all didn't help, especially you. And I think this is why for me we clicked, because you were the one person out of everybody in GBF that I won't say you could handle me, but you didn't back down.
Because you were so frustrating. You were so frustrating and so wrong. Like half the time it would just be like, what are you doing?
When was I wrong?
so one of the times, again, this is one of the ones that sticks out to me. This was why I'm just like, this wasn't the first encounter, but I just remember us like fighting over your class schedule. You were just like, no, I have to take all of the toughest classes. That's just how I learn. I have to be challenged. And we were just like, come on, you take a couple of hard classes and then some easy classes to balance it out. No, I'm not taking it. What is it, swimming or golf or whatever it was? It was you just refused.
And it wasn't that I was wrong on that. So what it was two things. No. And I know you're like, well, but the result, though, Jesse. No, but so the issue was twofold. The issue was twofold, right? Okay. I did need to be challenged because I was that kid in high school, and actually in all of my scholastic career, that if I get bored, I tune out. And I know if I took an easy class, I would fail that class. Because it's an easy class. And I had to answer to Sandra Jones and Raymond Jones as to why I failed recreation, why I failed golf. They could see me failing calculus. But they, you failed. We paid all this money and you failed. First of all, we paid all this money and you took intro to recreation.
Yup.
I will kill you. You took golf, I will choke you.
Yup. Like that. Because it's a college credit and it counted towards the ultimate numbers of whatever it was that we had to get.
That's not how the Jones household worked. I'm also coming from two older brothers who also excelled at education, and I'd never heard of them having easy classes. Now, their majors were completely different. Joshua majored in music education and vocal performance, and Melvin was doing journalism and working his way also towards. At the time, he was trying to be a doctor at the same time. So he was dealing as a pre-med along with journalism, and I was doing computer engineering. And I was like, what I'm not going to do is be second to these Negroes. Also, I'm not trying to fail these easy classes, so I'm going to take this stuff. But I also didn't know that one of my other pitfalls, aside from not really being able to tune into stuff that doesn't challenge me, one of my other pitfalls is also don't really do well with what I'm not passionate about. Computer engineering was never a passion of mine. Computer engineering was a means to an end. I always wanted to own my own business, to work for myself. And I felt if I'm going to work for myself, let's make some money. And as you know, that time computers was on the rise. Anything. So let me jump into that. I understand that. Let me jump into that. And I'll parlay this into something, because at the time nobody ever told me that business management was an actual freaking degree, which is what my degree is in now. Nobody ever told me. I went to the summer program that they had beforehand at OU for the minority students and talked to Don and all of them, told them what my plan was, told them why. Nobody ever said, hey, have you ever thought about business administration and business management? Huh?
So it's their fault?
No, well, look at it like this. If, as somebody who understands education, right, and you had somebody come to you and they're telling you their actual passion is this thing over here, that you know that there's a major for, that they could take this and major in this, but I'm going to do this so that I can do this. This is what I'm going to do.
Yeah, and I
Would
agree
you not
with.
tell them, hey,
I
there's
agree
this
with
thing over here.
Right, I agree with your analogy. If that this person was not you, and if, because I almost guarantee that somebody done told you that, and you were just like, no, I have to do this thing. Because when I tell you one thing I've learned about you is when you have your mind set on something, whether we want to call it stubborn or determined, whatever it is the same thing. Like when you have your mind set in a specific direction, that is the only direction. You can't see nothing else. That is what is going to happen.
I'm still that way to a degree, not as harshly, but I'm still that way to a degree. However, the reason that it always seems like that, and the more I've learned about myself, the more I can articulate why certain things are the way they are. The reason that I'm like that is because if someone cannot present to me a logical argument that makes sense to me, I can't hear it. That goes back to the purpose thing for me, the why. If it doesn't make sense to me, I can't hear it. However, I always remember arguments like that I'll get into. If I had gotten into an argument with somebody there trying to tell me, you know, business management is something you can do. If somebody had told me that and I argued about it, here's why I'd remember it. I'd remember it because since that's my degree, I'd be like, I wish I could find them so I could apologize to them. I'll tell you who the first person who ever told me.
I wonder if it was even that it was an argument, or if it was somebody told you and you just kind of blew it off. Like, no,
because even that I would have remembered, because the first person who ever mentioned business management.
Did you not get a course catalog?
There are a variety of people. No.
Okay.
Legitimately no. What came to me at the house was what my guidance counselor had submitted, which was I want to do computer engineering. And so everything that came to me was about computer engineering. When I got there after my first quarter, I got the catalog, but because my guidance counselor said, make sure you're looking up and doing what you need to do for computer engineering, that's all I ever looked at. I never looked at the fullness of the college. So whether business management was offered at OU to that degree or not, I don't really know at that time. I'll tell you, the first person who I ever remember telling me about business management, as opposed to just maybe you need to change your major, because all of y'all said, well, maybe you might want to think about changing your major. Doc was the first person who said, hey, Jesse, baby, you might want to take a look at business management. That was when I had transferred over to Hocking College. We had a conversation in her kitchen. She was like, baby, when you get there, you may want to switch your major. Now tell me what it is that you want to do. And I told her, she said, Jesse, all this time that's what you want to do? That sounds like business management. That sounds like business administration. You need to go ahead and do something in business. I said, Doc, that's what I'm trying to do. No, you can study it. Come here, boy, give me this thing. And she opened up Hocking College's thing and showed me the business catalogs, their business management, the business administration. They had something that's like 6 or 7 different majors in business. And she and I sat down, and she's like, this is the one. Business management's the one for you. That's the first time I had ever had a business conversation with anyone.
This is Real Talk Radio. This is Real Talk. High Praise Ministries presents Real Talk. This is Real Talk Radio. This is Real Talk. High Praise Ministries presents Real Talk.